She just wanna talk about all that we have in common. I just wanna talk to my brothers about this mountain that we climbing. This shit is getting real, I can no longer pretend. First I couldn't see the beginning, now I can't see the end. Don't hold me too closely, you knew me, don't know me. At least that's what you told me again. You said you loved to owe me, but things changed, you became lonely. I'm sorry, I'm only a man. I need that moolah, champagne, world tour, that campaign, that crew I came up with.
Hey guys, what's up? It's the Raging Redneck 74 here, bringing you some Call of Duty Black Ops 2. We've got a quick little search and destroy gameplay on Downhill. I've got that Party Rock Anthem camo on my gun now. I told you guys I was going to buy the DLC. I didn't buy all of them. I've bought the Kawaii, the Party Rock, the Zombies, and the Benjamin camos, along with the Creator Class Update system thing, whatever the fuck you want to call it. If anything, I'll buy one more, and that's Bacon, not because I really want to buy Bacon for Bacon. It's not the best. It's not that it's not the worst looking camo. It actually looks like the fall camo from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and that was the gold camo back then. That was the camo that everyone wanted to get. But the thing about Bacon camo apparently is that it's the only camo that really covers the entire gun, and that's what I'm paying for. I want to see my camos. I want to see what I paid for, and it's actually a decent looking camo. It's bright. It's almost like a bright red orange, so it's pretty nice. But let's get rid of that. Just wanted to give a quick little commentary here. I'm going to bring in some story time in this video. I just wanted to tell a quick little story about a funny school prank that happened a few weeks ago. We had a heavy snowfall here in New York a few weeks ago. I think it might have even been in March, but we were in second period global studies class. Almost no one came to school. It was snowing really hard. We were looking at the window. They let us out early because they were afraid that the trains were going to get shut down and everything. But we were in our global studies class, and the teacher, Ms. Plecky, she's going on and on about, I think it was the Japanese Shogun era, something like that. And I'm in the back of the room. I'm all the way in the back, last row, far corner of the room. I'm right next to the radiator, so I'm living it up. I got the heat next to me while it's freezing cold outside. And then all of a sudden, from the radiator, I hear this really fucked up sound. And I look at the radio, I'm like, what was that? And apparently I was the only one who heard it, because no one paid any notice to it. Even the person sitting in front of me, I was the only one who looked. And I was like, alright, fuck it, it's probably the radiator reacting. It's really cold outside, it's snowing like a motherfucker. They probably got the radiator on blast in every room in the school, so maybe it's just that, maybe it's a malfunction. So I just paid attention to Miss Plucky. I went back to my schoolwork. A minute and a half later, the sound comes again, except it's kind of a different sound. It's a little bit shorter and higher pitched. And this time, everyone looks at me, and I realize what the sound is. It sounds like a fart. And everyone looks at me, they stare at me, and they just start laughing, wondering, did he do that? And I've got my hands up. I'm like, you know that's not me. It's way too not. It's too loud. It's weird sounding. It's not me. She looks at me, she gives me the stink eye, almost as like, what was that? And I was like, it's not me. I put my hands up just to prove it to her. And the second I put my hands up, the sound goes off again. So she looks at me, she goes, John, what is that? I'm like, I don't know, it's coming from the radiator. She goes, well, what's it saying? And at this point, I'm just like, what the fuck? What's it saying? It's a radiator, lady. I said, it's just making some weird noise. She's like, do you know what it is? I'm like, it sounds like a fart machine. And she's like, oh, that's strange. Well, let's just forget about it. And this continues to go on for a good 10 minutes. And then finally she comes over and she's listening, and it goes off again. And then it goes to the point where she gets on her hands and knees, crawls under, puts her hand under the radiator, and pulls out a giant fart machine. And with a look of disgust, just takes it to the corner of the room and throws it in the garbage bin, takes out the battery so it can't make the sound again. Meanwhile, everyone in the room is staring at me, because apparently now I am the main culprit of this prank. And I'm just sitting there with a pissed off slash surprise expression on my face, because I know this isn't going to end well. I know I'm going to be the one that's going to be getting in trouble. And it's kind of annoying to me because I'm going to be honest, guys, I'm not the best student, especially with this woman. She doesn't really like me because I never do her homework. So I've already got somewhat of a bad rep with her. So she had enough reason to blame this on me to be a disrespectful student. And the thing is that my dean, the dean of sophomores, is actually my baseball coach, Mr. Giraldi. So she was planning on signing him, and I went after class and I completely pulled out everything in my pockets. I showed her I had nothing on me. I emptied my school bag, and she eventually let me out. She said, "I believe you, it's not you. I'm sorry for the disturbance and everything." And I just walked out dying of laughter because it was such a perfectly planned prank. The person, who I will name later in the video, well, I won't name because they probably won't want their name, they thought about it completely. She had the fart machine and she placed it under the radiator on this cold day where she thinks that no one would notice it because everyone's just paying attention to the snow. And she placed it under the radiator in first period, and she did nothing that period. She did absolutely nothing. She took her notes, she listened to Miss Plekia, she didn't do anything. She gets out, and she has the remote control with her, so she takes it to another class, and while she's in that class, she's just randomly pressing the button, setting off the machine that's in maybe a classroom 2 halls down. So she's in class, she's pressing the button, just giggling her ass off because she knows what's going on in this class. Meanwhile, I'm there, stuck next to the radiator as the prime culprit, looking as if I'm the one who's doing this. I have to give props to her because it was a hilarious prank. The fart machine never gets old, guys. It's completely stupid, but it still never gets old. I knew it right away. I just didn't want to point it out because if it was that obvious to me, she might have blamed me right away. The second time it made the sound, it was such a generic cartoon sounding fart noise that it was obvious it was a machine. Someone was playing a prank on her. She's one of the most not liked teachers in the school, if I were to say, because of the amount of homework she gives. So she was probably prime target number 1 for these kids to pull the prank on, and that makes me somewhat feel bad for her because she gets enough shit. I would go into a story, but I'm afraid I might get sued or something if I tell it. Everyone gives her shit, and I feel bad for her at times, but this was a great prank by this girl. I'm hoping my school can pull off some better pranks because it wasn't the best, but it was a really funny prank. Hoping that we can pull off some more pranks so I can bring these stories to you guys. I thought it was a pretty decent story. It was just to get in this little commentary I wanted to bring you guys. But thanks for listening to what I have to say. If you want more stories, give me a like or a comment. This is Raging Redneck 94. Peace.
Haters, we don't know them. Lamar, no cheap champagne, bring the Rosen. DeMar, King James paper, LeBron though, I need my green on point.